Hey, I'm Audrey Hope. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Hope for Relationships. I am the Soul Love Healer. And today we're going to hear from Ted from Virginia, who wants to know some revolutionary ways to heal. So join us. Healing is so unbelievably simple. You do what needs to be done, and that's it. Over. Problem solved. So join me so we can heal all our issues from the deep level of the soul and save years and years of therapy. Ted wants to know. He says, I feel really stuck and I want to heal myself and I don't believe in therapy, and I think most doctors put you on their assembly line trying to diagnose you and give you drugs, and they make you sicker than you are. Can you give me some new perspectives on how to heal myself? Yes, Ted, there are revolutionary ways to heal. And I'm going to try to make it very simple for you because this is my work. This is what I found from being with people, and it's common sense, not just diagnoses, because that will be what sticks people, is getting stuck in the idea that these are my genes, or I inherited this thing, or the doctor says I have this. And we have to go beyond it, because sometimes the problem is not what you think, and healing it is not what you think it is. So let's go. First of all, you really have to know that everything can be healed. Everything has a deeper meaning, and everything can be a miracle if you open up to it. Like I said in the last show, everything's a miracle, everything's spiritual, or as nothing is. And you can't just dip your toe into this. You have to go fully. So pain and suffering and accidents and getting into, pain and trouble, it all is a wake-up call. It's a divine wake-up call, an invitation to self-realization, because on our knees we begin to wake up, and you have to fall down in order to go up. So if you start to look at illness as sort of a messenger, you'll begin to open up and really see it as a call to enlightenment. So that's the first thing. Another thing is the deeper part of the soul. Often our body talks to us and it gives us messages. And I like to say it talks to us in profound ways, like a cartoon. So for example, if you say, I feel like, I'm being strangled, or I feel like I can't breathe, or I feel like I can't work, or I feel like I'm in bondage. That is the way the soul talks to us. And that is the thing that will save you years and years of therapy. For example, I once had a client, and she was abused by her dad, and he didn't want her to sing. And of course, she only wanted to sing. And she developed psoriasis. And this is what her body did. Constant this. And if you look at it, she was trying to get her father off of her. You see, and that's what we do. Often, the issue matches the pain, and it matches the disease. Often we have a problem because we can't speak up. So the disease or the illness gives us what we need because we don't say what we mean. So that's another thing. All illness is an invitation to a return to the authentic self, which means that we all suffer at the root of the root from a separation, a soul loss. We left ourselves. We do not have a good relationship with ourselves. It's not about other people, but somewhere along the line we got divorced from ourselves and we separated. So with healing, you need to know that, and you need to marry yourself and come back and have a soul retrieval. So no matter what you do in therapy, no matter what the doctor says, unless you go to that level and bring yourself back into yourself, you will suffer over and over again. And that really is the key to healing. And the other thing is a return to the divine alignment, to the connection. I always say, like an iPhone coming back in here. You need to connect to something higher. And that is where peace is. To know, come on, this is not all there is. There is a higher everything. The world is a wondrous place. So illness is a divine invitation to connect again. Because if life is going so great, are you ever going to really do the work? So pain and suffering, it's so sad that it has to be that way, but it doesn't have to be, because what you end up with after the pain is so much better. Because in healing, Here's another thing. It quantifies. Whatever you did in the past doesn't matter because what you're doing now expands. The 4 simple things to recap are that the problem is not always what you think it is. Don't go to the obvious because it's sometimes something else. For example, if someone has OCD, they might have an attitude problem. Sometimes they're just spoiled and they were raised without gratitude. And so if they don't get what they want, they, sometimes become very obsessed. So the thing is, healing is not always what it seems. The obvious is not always where you need to go with healing. The other thing is that the body matches the issue, and begin to look at what your body is doing with the illness. Watch the movements. Watch where it is, and that'll begin to give you messages. You are not to be confused by the timeline. Some people wonder, well, why is it now? That happened 20 years ago. Because in healing, there's no timeline that makes any sense because things get activated. So you have to know that. So wherever it is, you cannot run. It might happen 20 years, it might happen 30 years, but it doesn't have to be, because it's too far away, it's impossible for it to be my childhood, or it's impossible to be my past life or anything. The timeline is not to make sense. Things get brought to you and activated and awakened, and then you must heal them. This is Revolutionary Principles for Healing, but this is going to be a long series because I want to give you all the secrets, the revolutionary soul ways to heal, so you can heal very quickly and just get on with your life, because it's not about eternal punishment. Another thing is, you see, when we go and we have a problem and we settle in a court of law, it's good. You get a summons, you get, this is what you need to pay. But the problem is with healing, sometimes it goes on forever. Whatever you do, you think it's eternal. And so there's no end to it. Sometimes it's better if you could take it into a court of law and be finished with it. And so, when we take care of our issues, things really do heal, and they do heal forever, and the debt is paid. So thank you for joining me. I'm going to continue on this track to give you all the secrets of healing. I'm Audrey Hope. Thank you. If you have a relationship problem, you can write to me in the comments below, or you can contact me on my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter. The links are in the description box. And don't forget to like and subscribe so we can answer all our questions from the deep level of the soul and save years and years of therapy. I'm Audrey Hope. Hey, if you like my videos, and I hope you do, then subscribe and click. Are you going to click? Come on, click here now. Let's go.